Hello, sports fans. This is the Bookmaker Podcast with Eftekhari, a.k.a. Mr. Bookmaker, your source for the sports betting industry 24/7. Sit back, relax, and listen as Mr. Bookmaker highlights what's happening right now in the world of sports. So, without further ado, here's your host, Eftekhari.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome back to another edition of the Bookmaker Podcast. I'm your host, Eftekhari. Glad you can join us. You know the routine. Get to our website, bookmakerinfo.com. That's www.bookmaker-info.com. We got the links to all the best European, Asian, and United States friendly bookmaker sites. Our Bookmaker 101 guide is available for you to download. We have tips on how to register, bet, and withdraw. Remember, I want you to take your love of sports to the next level. And before you do that, when you're on our website, make sure you check out my blog. You can find the link by scrolling down the right side. It'll say Mr. Bookmaker Football Blog or Soccer, depending on where you are. Check it out. Just posted up a few new blogs. One of them is about who will be the next head coach for the United States men's national soccer team. And I also preview 2 more of the upcoming European World Cup qualifying playoffs. Of course, you know one of them is Denmark against the Republic of Ireland. The other one, Italy against Sweden. So get on it. Check out my blog when you get the chance. Now, we're kicking things off with our A to Z sports betting lingo. So what's the word for today? Alpo. And I don't mean the dog food, but Alpo is actually another word for the underdog.
Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out?
And of course, there are other words for underdog as well, such as bow wow, dog, puppy, or even the short. So like I said, word of the day is Alpo. All right, now, to get things moving, I'm on bet365.com. That's www.bet365.com. And for the first time in a while, I am focusing on the Bundesliga, the top flight of German football. Some good matches will be coming up this weekend. And right now, as I look at the standings, Borussia Dortmund is in first with 20 points. Bayern Munich actually also has 20 points, but right now Borussia Dortmund has the superior goal difference. So keep an eye on this race between Borussia Dortmund and Bayern Munich. And remember, don't forget about Rasenballsport Leipzig. They're a good squad and they had a great season last year. So with that, let's take a look at what games are going on this weekend. First, on Friday, you got Mainz hosting Eintracht Frankfurt. Odds here show 8-5 for Mainz, 11-5 for a draw, 7-4 for Eintracht Frankfurt. Then on Saturday, the 28th of October, Bayer Leverkusen will be hosting Köln. Payout here shows 3-10 for Bayer Leverkusen, 17-4 for a draw, and 9-1 for Köln. Then you got Hannover 96. The heavy underdogs will be hosting Borussia Dortmund. Odds here show 6-1 for Hannover, 3-1 for a draw, 1-2 for Borussia. Hertha Berlin will be at home against Hamburg. 5-6 are the odds here for Hertha Berlin, 5-2 for a draw, 16-5 for Hamburg. Schalke will be hosting Wolfsburg. 7-10 are the odds here for Schalke, 11-4 for a draw, 15-4 for Wolfsburg. Then you got Hoffenheim hosting Borussia Mönchengladbach. Even odds here, 1-1 for Hoffenheim, 5-2 for a draw, 13-5 for Borussia Mönchengladbach. Then the night game on Saturday, Bayern Munich hosting Rasenballsport Leipzig. You know, I don't care what other people say, it never gets old or tiring to repeat Rasenballsport Leipzig. What are the odds here showing? 3-10 for Bayern Munich, 9-2 for a draw, 8-1 for Leipzig. Actually, my bad, 8-1 for Rasenballsport Leipzig. Now, click on that link to see what other bets you could place for Bayern and the other team in this game. Let's just say you want to predict the score. If you think Bayern is going to dominate, let's just say you're thinking 3-0, right? Well, if the game ends 3-0, the payout for you would be 9-1. Or how about 2-0? It would be 8-1 the payout, but maybe you're thinking Leipzig will find a way to score. Actually, if the game ends 2-1 in favor of Bayern, the payout is still 8-1. So like I said, have some fun with this. If you really want to take some risks, maybe you think this match will end 3-2 in favor of Bayern. Payout here would be 18-1. Now, there are also some specials available here that you could place wagers on. Let's just say you think Bayern is going to win in a come-from-behind victory. payout here would be 7-1 for Bayern. And if you think Rasenballsport Leipzig will come from behind to win, the payout here would be 25-1. So get to bet365.com, click on German Bundesliga, get to Bayern Munich versus Rasenballsport Leipzig. And before we continue, make sure you check out our website. You know the address, bookmakerinfo.com. That's www.bookmaker-info.com. On our website, you have easy access to the Bookmaker 101 Basics. That includes steps on how to register, bet, and withdraw. Our Bookmaker Guide is available to download. Read through it at least 2 or 3 times. Remember, I want you to become an expert on this whole entire online sports betting process. And remember, we have betting strategies, tips. Don't forget about our A to Z sports betting lingo. Remember, you may not sound like an expert just yet, but keep on listening to the Bookmaker Podcast. Check out our website, and you'll be good to go.
Forget where I came from. Wait till I get my money right.
Okay, are you saying something? Let's get right to this. It is time to check out some of the odds for Week 8 of the 2017 National Football League. And for this, I am on sportsbetting.ag. That's www.sportsbetting.ag. And I know we're about to reach the halfway point of the season. But you know what? It doesn't mean it's, too early to be wondering who you should be placing a wager on to go all the way to lift that Vince Lombardi trophy. And things have been changing a bit though. Now, who is favored to go all the way right now according to sportsbetting.ag? No surprise that it is the New England Patriots. Payout here shows positive 350. Patriots are 5-2 at the moment. And a team I feel like focusing on right now is actually the Philadelphia Eagles. Payout here shows positive 700. And the Eagles are 6-1 right now. They actually have the best record in the National Football League. And Carson Wentz, second-year quarterback, really is showing what a valuable draft pick he was a little bit over a year ago. Then you got the Pittsburgh Steelers, positive 800. And let's not forget about the Kansas City Chiefs. The payout here shows positive 800. Now let's see what's going on for this weekend's matchups. First, you got the Minnesota Vikings playing the Cleveland Browns. And this game will actually be played in London. So it's another one of those games at a neutral site. The NFL really does love having teams play in London. The Vikings are 9.5 point favorites entering that game. Moneyline here shows negative 425 for the Vikings, positive 355 for the Cleveland Browns. Now this kind of game being in England, maybe it might favor the Browns a little bit. I mean, you just never know. It could be one of those random games, but I think it's going to be the Vikings finding a way to win. Then you got the Bears at the Saints. Saints favored by 9. Moneyline shows positive 330 for the Bears, negative 400 for the Saints. Falcons are on the road against the Jets. The Falcons are favored by 4. Moneyline shows negative 205 for the Falcons, positive 175 for the Jets. The Panthers will be facing the Buccaneers in a classic NFC South matchup. Buccaneers favored by 2. Moneyline shows positive 108 for the Panthers, negative 128 for the Buccaneers. Then you got the San Francisco 49ers at the Philadelphia Eagles. And look at this here. The bookies at sportsbetting.ag are favoring the Eagles by 13 points. Payout here shows for the money line actually positive 560 for the Niners, negative 725 for the Eagles. And I'm just wondering, can this be a game where the Niners find a way to make it close? I'm going to say probably not. Raiders on the road against the Bills. Raiders are coming off that huge Thursday Night Football win against the Chiefs. The Bills are favored by 2.5, but I think the Raiders are going to find a way to squeak out another victory. Payout shows positive 122 for the Raiders, negative 142 for the Bills. The Colts on the road against the Bengals. Bengals favored by 10.5. The Los Angeles Chargers on the road against the New England Patriots. The Chargers have been stringing some wins together. Patriots favored by 7.5. Payout shows negative 340 for the Patriots, positive 285 for the Los Angeles Chargers. Texans will be on the road against the Seahawks. Payout shows positive 200 for the Texans, negative 240 for the Seahawks, and the Seahawks are favored by 5.5. And what about the classic NFC East rivalry battles coming up here? Cowboys on the road against the Redskins. Cowboys favored by 2. Payout shows negative 130 for the Cowboys, positive 110 for the Redskins. As for the Sunday night game, the Steelers at the Lions. Steelers favored by 2.5. And of course, last but not least, the Monday Night Football game. Broncos on the road against the Chiefs. Broncos have not been looking very sharp lately. Chiefs favored by 7. Payout shows positive 255 for the Broncos, negative 305 for the Chiefs. So like I said earlier, get to sportsbetting.ag. Select the game you feel like placing some prop bets on. There's all kinds of different varieties here that you could choose from for anything ranging from who's going to throw an interception first, or will there even be a punt return touchdown? And usually, if you place a wager on that and it happens, the payout will be pretty big. So like I said, get to sportsbetting.ag. And with that, everybody, it is time to wrap up this edition of the Bookmaker Podcast. I really do appreciate the support. Like I said earlier, get to our website, bookmakerinfo.com. That's www.bookmaker-info.com. I want you to take your love of sports to the next level, and I also want you to check out my blog. You can find it on our website. Scroll down, you'll see the link, Mr. Bookmaker Football Blog, or soccer, depending on where you are or where you live in the world. Thank you, everybody, for listening to the Bookmaker Podcast. We'll see you next time.
This has been the Bookmaker Podcast with Art Eftekhari, a.k.a. Mr. Bookmaker. Thanks for listening. If you haven't already, please show some love by subscribing to this podcast on iTunes or Stitcher. Till next time, this is Mr. Bookmaker over and out.